welcome to another Fiberific live craft and chat. I know it's not morning for you all. It's morning for me. It's 10 a.m. I've got my cup of tea. Today's tea is, have a guess, chat. It is my friend Natalie's mint slice tea from Talia. I love this tea. Kerry Randall is asking if I have any internet issues. I mean, I don't think so. That doesn't mean there's not. We'll see how it goes. I did start just a minute late. I was actually doing something, and I just forgot to, I got sucked into what I was working on and didn't click the button. So I did start a few seconds late. Okay, so if everybody can let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, all that kind of jazz, and we'll keep going from there. It is wet here. That's right. It's been raining a lot, and it is it's not great. It's not great here, and like it's summer, so it's rainy and muggy and sticky, and like I've got the aircon on. I'm not turning it off today, guys. I'm sorry if it's bringing in that aircon hum. It's staying on because this space turns into a little oven if I don't have it on. Sally Mod Extraordinaire, thank you. You can see me, you can hear me. That is awesome. Freaky says that they had rain that turned to snow, but I was saying your tears were, oh lol. Okay, all right. Well, I mean that's true. That's true. It's been a weird week here. We have a lot of weird weeks lately. I'm just going to lay that right out there. But it is definitely been an odd week here. We've gotten past the whole, limbo week of that week between Christmas and New Year's where you can't actually remember what day of the week it is, to trying to get back into the routine. So yesterday, my time, Fiberific went back online. I was packing orders and shipping and placing orders and, doing all the standard stuff. Lots of orders went out yesterday because while I was on a holiday, I left the website open with just a note that I wasn't going to be shipping until yesterday. So lots went out. So anything that was in stock went out, actually. So that is cool. That cleaned up a big, long list of jobs that I had to do. So I'm doing that. I've also got some other stuff happening in the background. And I was just, and I don't want to get up because I don't have school runs or anything like that. And I am a work all night, sleep in all day kind of person. I will absolutely get up in the morning, set an alarm. If I've got something I need to do, I won't be all like, oh, I don't do anything before 10. I prefer not to do anything before 10, but if something starts early, I'm there. So while I have you here, next week there'll be no live stream because I am attending a virtual live streaming summit that another live streamer is putting on. I'm not speaking or anything like that, just attending and learning and trying to level up for us over here. So it will be a lot of fun. Let's see how this is going here. Hello. I'm just running through the chat to see who's here. Kathy was our first chat of the day. And now I'm not sure if those of you have seen it, but I have put a poll up today. I did actually remember to do it pre-stream, which is unusual for me. Have you ever made a temperature blanket? Well, that wasn't the poll question. The poll question is, have you started a temperature blanket for 2022? So pop that answer into the poll. But now into the chat, let me know if you've actually ever made a temperature blanket. Now, I've actually personally never made one, but I look at them every year and think, oh my gosh, they are beautiful. And then Kathy Breyer went and popped a couple of temperature blankets that she has, she's either just finishing or has done previously, and they look beautiful. And that's the problem. Like, you guys know me, I'm I haven't finished the queen. Okay, I'm not starting another blanket, but the temptation is great. I see all these people like doing these hole punch cards with the colors they're going to use for the temperature ranges, and I'm just like, oh man, that is so cool. Like, I love that you do that. I don't do that, but I love that they do. So yeah, it's one of those things. I'm just gonna do that. So let me have a look here in the chat. We need a yeah, Sally's jumped on it. Nope. I know I won't be able to keep up with it, so never started one. And that is exactly why I haven't started one, Diana. Because I think that they are a great idea, right? Like I love the idea of them. And I love that they are a visual representation of the temperature. But I don't know, I think wouldn't we, Kim's saying here, have temperature blankets had their day? I feel like they're a fad that's passed now. Look, there's people still doing them, and there's still people jumping in and doing them. It's and I've seen a lot of it in the last sort of week or so with the brand new year. But I wonder how many people start them and don't finish them. Because that would be me. That would definitely be me. I would finish them and not some. I mean, start them but not finish them, like every other project I work on craft-wise. Well, actually, I do eventually finish things, but I get like this one. I've got my queen here, you guys. So see the queen's out. This one is really hard to work on when it's hot, and I'm in Queensland, and I should have realized, like, as I was doing the sample of how thick it is, that it was probably not going to be really suitable for my climate. Like, I'm beginning to think this is even going to be way too hot for our winters. So, but I love the idea of it, and I'm going to finish it. And if it ends up just being a blanket that I lay on the bed and then fold back, make it a pretty thing, or, you know, if we ever get okay, let's get rid of that one. If I ever get rid of like the stuff in our spare bedroom and lay out a spare bed for guests, this would be the perfect thing for that. Freaky says a wall hanging. I love that idea. I hadn't considered that. Now, this would be way too big. Like, I don't know if I have any blank walls that would be big enough for this. This is 2.2 meters wide. Like, so it is a massive, massive blanket. Like, it is huge. It's a queen size blanket. And when I say queen size, but it's finished, it's actually going to hang over all the sides, which I wanted. Like, it's coming out to be just a slight bit bigger than I had planned, but not enough for me to be disappointed. So it is definitely one of these things that I planned on. And oh, now, Kathy, let me do this. This one is the canary. So that one's Caution, which is a bit more orangey, and this is the canary. So Kathy has a plan for a blanket, and she needed to work out which yellow I was using, but this is the canary. I love it. I think it's a beautiful yellow. And I can't wait to actually go back to it and be done with this orange. I mean, the orange is fine, but it's a little, I don't know. I think I prefer the yellow. But anyway, the yellow one here is the canary. That one there is Caution. Game Widow says, I've seen them, but it's more commitment that I'm willing to take. I like things that I can finish in a good amount of time. Lindsay says, I like smaller temperature blankets, something that doesn't end up 1,000 miles long when finished. That's the other catch. You're supposed to do a row a day. So that's 360 odd rows, right? How many rows are in a usual blanket? Like, I'm curious about that. So, like, how wide would you need to make it to match the length so that it's not too, you know, weird? Like, you want a narrow lap blanket, but then it's like a single bed length. So that would be weird. Anyway, that would be a good thing to know as well. But something I was thinking about, and I don't know if this is a healthy idea or not. So tell me in the chat what you think. But I think a blanket that would be more suited to me would be a mood blanket. Like, what kind of mood did I end the day in? Like, but you can't just keep going exhausted. You have to actually think about it. Are you exhausted happy? Are you exhausted sad? Are you angry? So it's kind of like I don't know how healthy this would be, honestly. I've no idea. But I think that would be more my sort of speed. It would limit it down to like 5 or 6 colors, and then B, because like, you know, the temperature ranges here in Queensland, I'd need like crazy temperature lengths, and I'd end up with like a big chunk of one color over summer. But yeah, I was thinking a mood blanket. So if you guys like, what do you think of that? I'm gonna have a little look in the chat here. Where are we? A good time to snuggle up with Coco and us so long as the power doesn't get. Yeah, if you're having blizzard conditions, I hope you have everything that you need and that you are safe. The idea, like, you may have gone through so many blizzards that it's like, yeah, whatevs. But for me, I'm like, oh my God, a blizzard? Like, what do you even do to prepare for that? Yeah, so it's another perspective thing, isn't it? Kathy says that many people do squares and change each round. That's a good idea. It could be a scarf. I actually really like that idea as well. Holly, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Sally said that she posted in the chat earlier that I started one in 2019, got halfway through, and that's it. I'll get back to it one day. Glad I recorded the temps for the rest of the year. Now that's the catch, isn't it? Like if you're like me and like naughty corner projects, or just push them aside while you work on something else, like, you've got to keep track of everything. You've got to keep writing down what all the temperatures, or the, you know, even if we made it a mood blanket, that would be something. Lisby says I'd have to go hourly if it was a mood blanket. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do it, like, choose a time of the day to think about what your mood is, and make sure that you choose that time or around that time each day. Kim says you would still have to commit to a row a day, and at least with a temperature blanket, the info is stored somewhere so you can refer to it. That is also true. That is also true. I tried to do a temperature blanket and I lasted a week, but I live in Southern California and the temps don't really vary enough for it to be interesting. Yeah. Actually, I love this idea, Lindsay. So rather than having it like a mood, have it like a color mood. Like, I'm in the mood for gray, which is like my mood every day. I love gray. But you know, that's actually a really cool idea. So you just get to do a row a day, but just like in whatever color you feel like. Oh, that's pretty cool, Knit Spin Girls. I heard someone who did a blanket on her commute and it was based on the colors of how late her train was. That was pretty cool. I've seen many people who made 2 round granny squares for each day and then laid them out in a 5x7 grid to show each month, and then lay out the months in it. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm sure that would be visually impressive. But I just, like, the ends. There'd be so many ends. I suppose no different than if you had ends of rows. So, you know, unless you're doing a sneaky enclosed border where you didn't have to deal with the ends of rows, which I'm becoming a serious fan of the idea. I still haven't gotten there yet. But, you know, we'll see. Oh, so the whole blanket looks like a calendar. See, I love this idea. Good morning, Jackie. Welcome to the chat. I'm planning on starting my first temperature blanket and have only decided the temperature range color yarn. Okay. That's cool. And a round 2 granny is so fast. That is also true, because that's the other issue I have working on this queen, right? Like, we know that when I sit down and focus, and I timed it, didn't we work out that I did a row like every 15 minutes or something like that, which doesn't sound long. But if you were having to like pull out a blanket for one day a month, like one day every single day and do a row on it, Like I'm going like powering and then stopping and then powering and then stopping. There's so many like, oh, I really love the idea of these 2 round grannies. I do. And I also love 2 round grannies. They're really cute. Sally said that mine is a 3 round granny, but arranged like a corner to corner. Yeah. Lindsay has said, there are some beautiful cross-stitch temperature projects. One that is a tree and a leaf a day, and each branch is a month. That one is cool. I like that idea. I've also seen those gorgeous cross-stitcher days where it's just a little motif each day of what you did that day or something meaningful you for each day. So it's just this like, looks like a big sort of sampler thing of just all these little tiny motifs of what, like of what it was, you know, just a day, and they look gorgeous, but I can't imagine they'd be any quicker. Like when I cross stitched, it would take me approximately an hour an inch. So like depending on the stitch and the color changing, but on average. Bob says that the temperature blanket would only have 6 colors if it was at 5-degree increments. I mean, that's true as well. That's true as well. We sort of sit in this block of, like here in Queensland, it's basically usually anywhere from 5 degrees to 40 degrees. And that 5 degrees is like the coldest night in winter, and the 40 is like one of the hotter times of summer. Sometimes you get up to 42, I suppose. But yeah, like you could narrow down the colors. And then I used the last month of temperatures for the border on one of mine. That's cool as well, just to change it up a bit at the end. Yeah, there's so many ideas. And like Kim said, I thought they were done. And then I've seen so many people, you know, posting their images of their little tassel, like, you know, the hole punch with their temperature guide. So there's lots of people starting them this year, and just sort of getting into it. So, but yeah, it's definitely one of those crazy things. With a 2 round granny, you could do a minimum, and so make each round a different color. I like that. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to drop that off. That's actually a really cool idea too. That's more ends to weave in though. I like the idea though. Not that I'm going to do any of this. Now I need to, like, I am not making a temperature blanket. I just like the idea of it. I have got too much. I want to finish my queen. I don't want to start anything else until I get it done. So the other day I was sitting in the lounge room, and I've been binge watching Numbers. I think I'm up to like season, I want to say 4. I can't remember. I'll have to have a look. And I was absolutely just like sitting there realizing you've watched 4 seasons of a show over the break, you've done no craft. What is the go? And I realized what it was. And it was like, it was a little bit of a smack in the face, bit of a hit home kind of thing. I haven't adjusted to the fact that I now need glasses for my craft. And like, you know, I've needed glasses for screens for, you know, for a little while now. Well, about a year, I want to say a year or a year and a bit. But I still hadn't sort of really transitioned over using it for craft yet. And I realized a few months back that it was very difficult for me to see stitches, especially in a bit of low light. And so I just stopped crafting because, you know, I wanted to watch my show, but watching my show with my glasses on, and we had this discussion last week, I can't wear transitions. So I need to do the whole glasses down so I can see down and then look over the top of them to watch the television. So I don't need my glasses for my TV. And so I realized that I found, like subconsciously, I just decided not to do it. And I was like, well, this is dumb. This is literally the definition of cutting off the nose to spite the face. Like, I'm not crafting because I want to watch something, whereas I'm like got itchy fingers because I'm not crafting and I'm watching something. And I'm watching something I've seen before, although I don't remember a lot of these episodes. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. So I went into the craft room and I thought, I'll grab a small project because our air conditioner's out in the house. So it's really hot in there. And so I went and grabbed my amigurumi project from Erin and Lee. So I'm working on Aurora the Dragon. No, unicorn. Aurora the unicorn. I'm thinking I'm not making dragon wings. I'm making a horn. So now I've got the head done. The face is all on it. The body's done. The arms are done. I think the legs are done. Both legs. I think I've just got to double check one of the legs. I think one of them I was looking at it going, did I do something wrong with that leg? And now I've got to do, like, she has a little headband with a little star. She's got a little horn. And then I've got to stitch it all together, which is a whole other thing. But one of the things I love about Erinna's patterns is how much detail she goes into describing and showing you exactly where to stitch on the arms and legs, because I'm that person that can crochet all the pieces and then the arms end up like this, or the eyes are wonky. Erinna goes into explicit photographic detail showing you where to stitch everything in. So that's made things a lot easier for me. Leanne, I'm not sure if she's here. She has been going hard and making so many of Erinna's amigurumis. So it's Little Hook on Etsy or Aquagirl on Instagram, I think is right. Little Aquagirl, Aquagirl, I don't know. Where are we? Kim says, I just got my eyes checked last week and I need reading glasses now as well as distance, so maybe I'll actually wear my new glasses, seeing I don't have to take them off for screen time. Oh, very good. Can you still buy half moon specs? I'm also in the same boat. I only just got glasses, but don't need them for TV, but means craft TV. Yeah, and that's kind of where I've been at, except now it's to the point where I cannot do it without my glasses on. So I don't wear these ones. These are the glasses for the shack. These have been specifically designed to make their focal point 80 centimeters away, because like the screens and everything are all over there. Like that would have looked weird. Like I'm still not touching like the screens, that I'm like nowhere near them, you know, so they're far away and I still need them to read, but they have got excuse me, they've got the their focal point is far away, whereas my crafting glasses are standard reading focal points, which I have to remember to take to the shops now because I cannot read the ingredients of things. The other day I was shopping, didn't have my glasses, like I didn't have my reading glass, I have my other glasses. I'm like there with my phone, like zooming in like a little old lady. And my daughter was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I cannot read the things. Is it just me? Why is it so small? And Abby's looking at it. She goes, no, I think it's very small now. And I'm like, oh, good. I thought it was just me. So it's really important to check your eye health, guys. You know, go and see an eye professional and get checked. Because the other issue is I think the fact that I hadn't been wearing my glasses and trying to craft was giving me some pretty intense headaches. And since I started making sure that I don't pick up my craft unless I've picked up my glasses, has meant that those headaches have pretty well gone away, which is really nice. It is definitely one of those not fun things. Oi, you. What are you oyuing, Sally? Are you oyuing the evil, bloody, stupid bots? They're just bots. And you know what? There's been some discussion amongst some YouTube educators, and no one can actually work out what the end game is, because they're not clickable links, because we don't allow clickable links here in this live anyway. And so all they are is annoying. They're just annoying. So it's definitely one of those, like, it's so frustrating, and it's happening across the board. Like, it's not just happening to us, it's happening to basically anyone who's live. And then there's a worse one. So if any of you ever get a message responded to you with hey, WhatsApp me, this one's actually a scam and it's costing people money. It is one of those ones where, you know, they actually copy the original creator's icon and their name, and then they message, like, they'll respond to people like, oh, thanks so much for commenting, you know, if you want to jump in on a one-on-one call with me, you can WhatsApp me here. And they're charging people money, and I'm just seeing it like cringing. It's like total cringe for me, and I just see it happening to my friends in the creator world. And then people are angry at them because they didn't get the one-on-one call. It's like, dude, it's not me. You got scammed, and I can go through and delete them, but that's hard. It's so hard. So hubby doesn't take his reading glasses grocery shopping, and we end up with the wrong thing a few times. Yeah, I can see how that would happen. I can totally see how that would happen. Kerry says, my work glasses are a 65 centimeter focal point, but skinny. I look over the top all the time. Yeah, I think for my next reading glasses, I might see if I can't do the like little half ones. Because I many years ago, when I was a stitcher for Jenny King Designs, I was having eye strain from because I would crochet 13 to 15 hours a day just to get some things ready. And it wasn't all the time. It was just like blocks of like, this project has to be done within a week, and it was a big project. And I was getting eye strain. So my optometrist put me onto some little readers just to ease the eye strain, because they were like, you're not going to stop, are you? And I was like, no. And they're like, okay, well, if you're not going to give your eyes a break, at least let's take some of the pressure off. So I just got these. I just had a really light prescription in them, and they're just little glasses. And they were great because I could do that, like, because my, all my other vision was fine. So yeah, so I mean, that's definitely a way to go, isn't it? Just to, it's amusing your dilemma about glasses. I went through all this in my 20s and have had multis for over 10 years now. I've had my distance glasses since teenager, but I didn't need them for, like, if I was just walking around a room of people, as long as I wasn't trying to look over and see people far away, I was fine. But like just dealing with people and seeing their faces, I was okay. But now, like, my eyes, like, as you age, apparently, like, get ready for this if you're young in the chat, apparently once you hit 40, your vocal lengths start to switch. So it's all like, what? I'm not used to this. So yeah, I'll get there. Jackie says, I watch a lot of stuff on TV blurred so I can see what I'm working on. Yep. Oh, that's right, because Kim doesn't want to be a mod anymore. Well, that's not that she doesn't want to be a mod. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. But Sally can totally time Kim out now. Yeah, and so, look, Jackie, the reality is more often than not when I'm working on a project, I am just listening to the television. But because I've been rewatching a show that I used to love, I'm like into it, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember when this happened. Oh my God, I don't remember this episode. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's like a no-win. It's a no-win sitch. I've got to wear the glasses, you big dummy. So, wow, that tea went cold fast. Let's top it up with the hot tea. I know I said it was hot, right? And then I was like, oh, it's so hot, I have to have the air conditioning on. And now I'm sitting here complaining that my tea's cold and I need hot tea. I get it. I see the irony. I really like this tea. I was trying to describe it to a friend of mine, and it was just like, it's minty without being like mint tea, and it's got a hint of chocolate without being overly chocolatey, and it still tastes like tea. And it was just like, what? So it is crazy. 4 ads? I didn't even know my channel could do 4 ads. Game Widows, like, you're a skip the ads person. You're a channel member. Just skip the ads. It's okay. Like, I appreciate you watching the ads, but especially those of you that are channel members or that are Patreons, like, please, like, don't torture yourself with the ads. Just skip through it if they come up. Like, I know some of you are like premium YouTube members, and that's fine, and you don't get an ad, whatever. I'm a premium member and I still join channels. And it's just like, Just skip the ad. Just skip it. Just skip it. And 4. Oh my gosh. I mean, I hope I get the benefit too. Like, really. Like, thanks. Like, what can I say about that? Thank you. When you know that the characters of your favorite t-shirt sound like, but not so much what they look like. I know. And you look up and you're like, oh, hang on, you've had a haircut. Game Widow said, because I had to restart, kickstart the computer to get back into live stream. Oh, gosh. Is it like, I did a lot of updating on my laptop over the last week, like making sure that some things were cleaned up that had been bugging me and stuff like that. And I found a glitch that I can't resolve, and I've even gotten onto the makers of the laptop. They haven't responded. Of course they haven't. And like everywhere it's like, oh, you just reinstall this software, and I'm like, I have uninstalled and reinstalled that software like 9 times. Yeah, it's not, I mean, I don't think it's affecting the stream. It's just like it's affecting some functionality, that's all. Nothing to, and I can't turn the color strobing off, which is what I think is affecting the color on my hands down shot. Is there's color emanating from under my laptop, and I think that's affecting that. So yeah. Lindsay says, I had an amazing chocolate mint tea today. I ordered a chocolate rose tea from the same company, their Valentine's blend. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. They are unskippable ads. I'll check that because I didn't realize I had unskippables clicked. I thought you could. I'll check that because I thought I had all my ads so you could skip them. Yeah. Sorry, Gamer Widows, to torture you like that. Jackie says, yeah, Sally is doing fantastic dealing with all these bots because Jackie's at work. So I appreciate you, Sally. Oh, I just read this, Lisa. I appreciate you. And I'm sure everybody else does. We need to give Sally some mod love, everybody. I know Jackie's in here modding too, but let's all give Sally some mod love. Like everyone put a heart in the live stream for Sally. Oh, the Circle of Doom came back for you. Oh, no. Jancy says I may be wrong, but I've found if you watch the short ads, YouTube doesn't seem to give me the longer ones. I think it's totally random, honestly. And like, depending on the creator, like I'm a pretty small creator, so I don't get like some of the, you know, top tier ads and things like that. But it is definitely one of those things. No, you can't take it back with the I was joking. Nope. Look in the chat, Sally. Everybody's loving what you do. Look at all these love hearts for you, Sally. Oh. Lindsay said she had a 600-minute ad, not on this channel. I've seen some of those. I've seen like these 2-hour ads, and I'm just like, really? Like, seriously, make a YouTube channel, guys. So, yeah. Look. Oh, I love this. Look at all these colors. This is fantastic. This is going to look amazing scrolling down the screen. I've got a black screen on this side, and the rainbow of colors looks fantastic. The in-house tech guy is currently sick. This always happens when I turn my computer off when the family visit. I wouldn't turn my computer off just because the family are there. I mean, that's probably me, though. I'm like, sorry, guys, I'm over here watching a live stream. Can't talk. I don't do that. If my family are really here, which is very rare, I don't do that. Yeah, my family don't visit very often. We're normally like, we've got to go and visit them. So I suppose I don't have my laptop with me when I do that. Oh, lots of Sally love. Lots of Sally love. Oh, you think she has to move it? All right, yeah, because it's on the table. I've got you. Yeah, I got to move other stuff like scanners and Swifts and junk. I'll tell you something funny. Like, I don't think any of my family are watching, like my household. I get accused of leaving crap all over the dining table all the time. And it's just like, you know, it'd be nice if we could sit at the dining table and eat, Mom, but all your crap is here. I cleared everything for Christmas, and as I'm clearing it, I'm like, Abby's room, Tim, Abby. And I was like, yeah, I had like some sewing stuff on there, and I moved that to the craft room. And it was just like, I was just like, there was hardly anything of mine out there. Like, and the table, it was trashed. And I have made a conscious effort to not leave anything on the dining table for the last week. And it's piling back up, even to the point where my husband commented, oh, geez, you know, it doesn't seem like we can keep this table clear, can we? And I'm sort of looking at all the stuff on the table thinking, none of it is mine. So, but I'll go through and put it all in the right places, because it seems that that's the only way it happens. My loom is almost permanently set up on the dining table. See, my big Swift, I've got my big motorized Swift. That was always permanently set up on the table, but I've lent it to somebody. So it's currently not there. But yeah, because none of my other tables, like, it's a $1,500 motorized Swift that gets a good bit of swing on it. And so leaving it on like a little cheap IKEA table that's little legs tap scares me. So I do tend to try and put it over on like the big table, but we'll see what happens when it comes home. Trying to lower the resolution to see if that helps. Yeah, I'm not sure why a live stream at 1080p would crash your laptop unless they're a bigger fish at play. This comment right here. This one wins the internet today. My craft table. Very generous of you to allow them to eat at your craft table. I like that. Look. Yeah, I like the idea, but I'm sure it would cause like, and I don't like that. But it would be interesting just to do it just once, just to see. And what was really funny is I've gone into the craft room the other day and I could not move my chair. And I'm like, what is this box that's just been shoved behind my chair? I open it up and it's all of Abby's, what do you call it? Where it's the resin, all of her resin stuff. And I'm like, why is that in the craft room? And she goes, because it's craft. I'm like, I mean, that makes sense. But there's no room for your craft in my craft room. And she's like, well, there's no room in my room. So it's currently on the dining table. So that should be fun. Yeah. I have my loom set up on my dining table, but my parents keep visiting and they insist on eating at the table. We don't eat at the table. We tend to eat in the lounge room with our food on our laps. When I was younger, we ate at the dining table mostly. We probably haven't set the best example there. Yeah, but not just shoved in. Yeah, I agree. There's no, look, what's happened is a lot of stuff was, again, at Christmas, gets shoved into the craft room. I've got to pull it all back out again. And I'm actually going to do a big purge. I'm going to go through and get rid of a lot of stuff. So keep an eye out for some de-stash posts. Of, you know, all sorts of stuff. I'm going to try and pair some stuff. I should probably try and just make some stuff. If I did some weaving, that would use up a lot of yarn, and then I could probably sell some scarves. I don't know what I'm going to do, really. I don't want to sell my stuff is really what it's coming down to. I just want a bigger craft room. Yeah. My husband got rid of his office desk and put his smelly computer things in my craft room. Oh, no. It feels weird to eat at the table by myself. I get that. My husband is the only one that eats at the dining table, but he always sits at the dining table, so most of my other stuff on the table is his. That's cool. Or it's like, just push it out of the way so there's like one little setting that's clear. I mean, that's an interesting idea. If we've done that, if you want to eat anything, you have to do it at the dining table. I mean, yeah. Kelly says, if you weave tea towels, I would buy, just FYI. I mean, thank you. That's good to know. That's good to know. Oh, yeah, no, you can't win either way. Absolutely. There you go. If you eat during a live, you're not by yourself, but it's not quite eating time. My craft room looks like something exploded in there. Had to hide all the stuff from the toddler granddaughter at Christmas. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Abby's coming here after Christmas and she's looking around. She's like, weren't there boxes there? Like, have you been doing some recycling? And I kind of looked at her and she goes, you had my Christmas presents just sitting there. And I'm like, yeah, hiding in plain sight. That's what I do. She was like, how did I not know? And I'm like, because you're so used to boxes being out here. She was just like, oh my God, I'm going to check next year. So next year I have to do something different. But yeah, I hide stuff in plain sight all the time. Like, it's because they don't look properly. I can just like put something on. I put a block of chocolate in the cupboard, but I've got like separate door sections and like there's separate cupboards but next to each other, and one of them's full of things like ingredients like flour and sugar, and it's like, so nobody but me goes into that cupboard. And so I just put stuff just right there. They don't even open the door and look, and it's like, Tim's like, where do those Tim Tams come from? I'm like, that cupboard. Because I looked in there and there was no snacks. I'm like, there are snacks now, my friend. There are snacks now. All right, let's see if we can't get some craft done. Let me know in the chat, what are you working? It only took me an hour to start crocheting. What happened was I was getting back into like working out where I was up to in the pattern, and then I looked up and realized it was time to start the stream. That's why. That's why. Game Winner says, that doesn't work. My kid can sniff out chocolate. See, mine too, but she doesn't sniff it out in unusual places. Like, my husband is like an absolute like chewing gum. Like, he loves chewing gum, right? And we buy it in a bottle, not in packets, because he goes through so much of it. Anyway, he kept going, where are you getting gum from? We don't have any gum. And I'm like, you don't have any gum. And he was just like, no, what do you mean I don't have any gum? I'm like, I've got gum. I'm like, but it's my gum, and I like my gum to last, and I don't even chew gum every day, let alone every week. And when I feel like a piece of gum, I feel like a piece of gum. Oh, look, there's yarn bath. And he was just like, oh, well, can I please have a piece of your gum? And I'm like, go to the lounge room and I'll bring it to you. So I've been hiding this gum for ages. Abby found it and showed it to him. But it's up in the spice cupboard where he doesn't normally look, because he doesn't do that kind of cooking that requires, ingredients or spices. We visited my mum. I set my loom up on her dining table and made her Christmas present in front of her, and she didn't once realize it was hers. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Holly is currently knitting her first scarf. Holly, what are you like? What yarn are you using? Are you enjoying it? Like, because I know knitting's new for you. So yeah. And Diana is working on an elephant lovey for my friend's baby due any day now. Now I need to double check. Is the lovey the kind of blanket thing with the little toy stitched into the corner, or is that something else? Like, I'm just checking. I'm peeling an orange, but then I'll go back to knitting sleeves. Yeah, you can't eat citrus and yarn craft at the same time. It's not safe. I bought my aunt a couple of hydrangeas for Christmas one year, and she thought they I think I've missed a word. But so to offer to look after them, I just let her keep thinking that. Okay. Oh, she let one die, and so she replaced it. Oh my gosh. All right, Game Widow. She's given up on the computer. Expect a new computer-based shaped speed hump out on the road later today. I like that. Okay, so like there's a little elephant stitched into the middle of a blanket. Cool. They look so cute. I just need to double check because I didn't know what they were called. You just finished. Noah. I'm assuming it's it's not Noah the gnome. It's Noah the gnome. That sounds cute. Lindsay is knitting a shawl called Vacillate in 21 colors. It reminds me a bit of the Bantam wrap. Oh my gosh. 21 colors. Wow. So Holly's first knitting is using Lion Brand's Woolies Thick and Quick and just using the knit stitch, and I can't stop. The Thick and Quick is a real, and you're going to get such a squishy like scarf, and you're in a place where you can get away with it and wear your super squishy scarf. It's going to be so awesome. I cannot wait to see. And when you're ready, I'd love to see photos over in the fun zone, Holly. Lisby is spinning heaps at the moment, and she is loving it because you got that amazing advent from Beersheba, didn't you? Oh my gosh. Pico binding off my Moon Dancer. Oh my God, I hate Pico bind off so much. It looks fantastic. It looks beautiful. But that takes so much time. I think the Pico bind off and the I-cord bind off are my two least favorites. But they both look fantastic, and so they're both worth it. But I'm just like, oh. Kerry's got 9 inches of mesh lace body done on my jumper last week on holidays. Back at work now. Progress is slow. Yeah, I get that. I'm now sitting in front of a fan with my wings out, trying to cool it down. It's very steamy here. Do you have wings? Or does the fan have wings? Jackie, I'm going to crochet rolls. Started my Nature's Walk blanket in the Shapey Stonewash XL. I love the Stonewash. It is so nice. Yeah. Oh, Kerry's got to go to work. Well, I mean, have a good day at work, Kerry, and try and keep cool. Lisby has said, I've popped in the fun zone the 3 balls of deep purple from day one and 2 balls of wool silk I got from one of your D-stashes. Yeah, I've been watching. And here comes Sally with the logic. Sally with the logic, wings equals arms. It's not quite the image that my brain conjured for me. Oh gosh. Yeah, no, it's definitely pretty stinking hot right now. It is definitely not my favorite weather. We had a beautiful few days though, and I'm not going to complain because it was cool and a little bit rainy, and it was just the kind of weather I like, right? Like I like it to be about 20 degrees and not high humidity. I am definitely not living in the right place to get lots of those days. So when I get them, I'm very, very grateful. But yeah, it's not usually that here. Like, what is it today? Let me just check what it is today. Today, right now, it is currently 27 degrees Celsius, feels like 30. It is 70% humidity. Gosh, it feels worse. It feels like worse humidity than that. It's been said, I've just separated the sleeves on a top-down cardigan in black. I must be crazy. Yes. You need a crazy crown right now. You are definitely crazy. But you'll probably wear that cardigan lots. Holly says, I'll definitely post a picture when I'm done. I'm thinking of adding pockets at the end using the stockinette stitch. That sounds interesting. I like that idea. Especially if you're somewhere that's legit cold, you can wrap your scarf around and poke your hands in your little pockets that you've made. Okay, you guys, with the logic, like wings being arms, that's just ruined it for me. I had this amazing idea of what it was. It's legit, not even close. Boring. Reality is boring. Sally says it's a bit cool here today at 18. Jackie says that where she is, it's 41 and a 30% humidity. 41's a bit hot. Like, yeah. Don't mind the 30% humidity. But the 41 is a bit out of my comfort zone. All right, let's pop those over there. I think actually, what I think I need to do is I think I need to rewind this ball of yarn. It's this like very, it's falling apart. It's legit falling apart. I made it. Carrie's down the rabbit hole. Welcome to the chat. It's 26 here on the nice. I like this. It's my birthday. I wouldn't be unfair if somebody gave my husband an idea on some knitting needles for a cardi knit with my hand spun. So what kind of weight is your hand spun? And what kind of cardi do you want to make? Like, that's going to make a big difference as to what needles that we like buy these. So yeah. I've done something wrong. Oh, I did, because it's only 2, not 3. Can't count. Yeah, absolutely, Freaky. The humidity totally makes it hotter. Or feel hotter. You definitely do not feel as nice. It could help him with brownie points after Christmas fail. Oh, my goodness. Well, if he had a Christmas fail and he's trying to make up for something, and your hand spun is under about sort of 8 to 10 ply weight, I would suggest that he buy you a ChowGoo interchangeable set if he's trying to, remedy a dropped ball. But I also know they're not the most inexpensive sets. So if we could narrow it down to some fixed circulars, that might be a better option financially, or even just some tips and cables to add into a future set. But the small interchangeable set would do it. You wouldn't need a complete. I'm just seeing here you've done 8 ply. So yeah, I think a small interchangeable set could solve that. So yeah, I believe there's one ChowGoo dealer has some in stock. Just throwing that out there. 81% humidity in Sydney. Yuck. Like we're at 70 in Brisbane. We normally have higher humidity than you guys, but it is raining here, so that technically is supposed to drop the humidity, but what's happening is it's not raining for long enough, and it's just like making it soup. It's soup. I stepped out the door because I've been in here setting everything up and the aircon's going. I stepped out the door, it was like, oh, and like waded to the house. Like, the ground is sludgy and muddy and gross, but also the air was so thick, it was like walking through silk. I wouldn't be unhappy if you were to give him some pointers. Oh my goodness. I'm going to skip past that, Freaky. I'm going to be the bigger person today and keep moving. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Like it will end up being a financial decision, which is fair enough. So everybody, are you all back into your normal swing, or are some of you still on holidays or on break? Or like, I know for us, it's easing back into normal. Tim's work has got him working from home again, we've had, like, Queensland's had a bit of a boost in COVID cases. So they've asked that, you know, where you can work from home. So he's able to. So that's what's going on there. Abby is still on holidays from, like, in Australia, they have their big holidays over the Christmas break. So they, my daughter's been off school since the end of November and doesn't go back till the end of January. So yeah, Kathy says, I'm still retired. Ruth Young, welcome to the chat. Good to see you in here. Kelly says the different cost-wise between the small and complete. Lisby's hubby should just get the complete. I don't know if she'd use any of the big sizes. I don't always recommend the complete. Like, I know, like, there are people out there who like to have all of the things, and I get that. I really do. I'm not one of those people. I've got a small set with occasional extra tip. That's what I've done. Oh, that's yuck. Nothing's changed for Sally. No change here. Francis is still on leave. Don't get back till February. Primary music school teacher. Awesome. So you have a nice break. That's cool. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things, as Abby's still at the moment doing 2 days a week at the vets, and she's still getting the occasional shift at her paid job, because the vets is part of an internship and she doesn't get paid. But fingers crossed, she should just about have knocked over all of her hours by the time she goes back to school. What have I done here? I'm such a donkey. I'm just not watching or counting or any of these things. Yeah, with the Christmas fail, I agree. But that said, I don't normally go above. Yeah, if you don't normally go above 8 ply, you don't normally need more than a 5 mil. So stick, and like you could do the whole, oh honey, you know, I'd love this complete set, but if you can't get that, this set would do. I mean, I don't know if that works in your household. That doesn't normally work in my house, but I know that it does work in some. Yeah, see, that's where I'm at, Freaky. I normally buy what I need. Plus yarn. When it comes to tools, I buy what I need. But yeah, when it comes to supplies, that's a whole nother discussion. Your hubby only had Christmas Day off? Gosh. Yeah. And there's lots of, like, you know, we're having a lot of problem up here in Australia, down here in Australia, massive lines to get COVID tests and what have you. It's a bit of a schmozzle. Oh, Carrie, oh no. I hope you're able to get a replacement. You'll give him links to a local supplier that you'll know. I actually think there is a small set. I think that's what I can see. I'd have to check, but I think I can see a small set out of the corner of my eye over in the stock shelves. I've been working at a hospital here. It's crazy here. 2-day waits to be seen unless you aren't breathing. Yeah, that's basically what it's looking like on the news for us as well. Jackie says, I got the complete set, but I rarely use the larger sizes and bought multiple of many of the small sizes. Yeah, I bought multiple of the small sizes as well as extra cables is my thing. I lose a lot of cables. Like, I don't understand where they've gone. They're in my craft room somewhere. It's a black hole. It's like a vortex. Not all of us are suppliers where we can just pick up stock off the size needle we need, but I knit tight. I can sometimes just inch up to the next range. When you want to knit, you can't wait. That is true. That is very true. That is very true. But in saying that, I tend to just use out of my set. I don't really come in and grab stock or anything, because if I take it, then you can't buy it, and my brain goes, it's not yours. All of the cables. Oh, finally got all my good needles back from the kiddo. Yay! Birthday in Feb, I'll get him onto it. Awesome. Yeah, I got the complete set as I haven't access to a local shop and I have to wait for post. Yeah, because you're out in the middle of like Queensland. I'm literally sliding off my chair. I don't know what it is. I think it's these pants. I noticed it the other night. I was on a Zoom call and I was like so wiggly. Maybe my chair is just, you know, I should just push it in a bit more and lean back and then I won't slide quite so much. No, I can feel myself slipping. It's my pants. Oh. Note to self. These pants are not suitable for a 2-hour live stream. Slinky pants. For sliding off the chairs. Okay. All of the cables, absolutely. Yeah, true. That's why you need all the things. If I want to start a new project at 10 p.m., I can. Yep, absolutely. Daughter threatened to buy a shed and put all my yarn and such in it. Dude, let her, but tell her your yarn and stuff cannot go into a standard shed. It has to be lined and have a concrete floor and have power. And it also needs to have access to the house Wi-Fi. Then you could slowly throw down some carpet in a section and put in a craft light and have like watch YouTube while you craft in your shed so people can't harass you. I mean, that's not my dream at all. That's not exactly what happened in here. I got the shack for work and, you know, because we live streaming, I had to fix the audio. So it's got a little bit of carpet down this end. And now there's a couch. And I kick back and I use this chair as a footstool and I put shows on, sit out here and craft even when I'm not working. Ha, ha, ha. I don't encourage that kind of behavior. Yes, I do. There's still no power to the shed. Oh, I'm like, sorry, I can't put my stuff out there until there's power. I would put down, can't use the shed. That shed's not usable yet. It's not ready. There's no power. How can you go out at like 10 o'clock at night to start a project if you can't get to your stash because it's dark? Do you know what? It probably is exactly. It's Dada, you probably hit the net because I am missing at least 3 stock projects in my craft room. So yeah. See, look at this. It's like sounds like a great idea. Take her up on it. I'd love a craft shed. Yeah. Like we're all like team craft shed. As long as it's got power, it's got to have power. Like that's the kicker. It's got to have power. Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Need power to it so I can knit or crochet in it and put a comfy chair and carpet. Yes. Absolutely. And like tell her, like imagine how much space you'll save in the house if you simply add power to the shed. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure where Ruth is. She may not need aircon, but if she's got power, then it's only a small step to aircon. Like, you know, get the shed and the power now, and then next year get the aircon. Kathy says, I would love a craft room. Right now I'm working on a card table and sitting in a folding chair with all my yarny stuff somewhere else. Oh. I like this. My dad called my house a she shed. I live alone. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, insulation. Absolutely. Yes. Yep. You got to protect that yarn. It's an investment. That yarn's an investment. I got told I wouldn't make use of a shed. Really? Rude. They don't know us very well, do they, Linda? We all need our sheds. I just took over my son's bedroom so he can't move back in. I keep saying to Abby, when are you moving out? She's like, why? And I said, so I can. And she's like, you are not taking over my bedroom. I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. She's like, well, I'm not moving out yet. And I'm like, okay. She's only 16. I don't expect her to move out anytime soon. But it's a fun game to play. The random stuff in plastic crates. Yep. Oh yeah, you also need water. Like, because if you want to use it for dyeing, for sure, you need access to water. But I don't have any water out here. I just have aircon. It's lined. Like my shed was dropped in. I hire it. It's not like a proper shed. This is a demand building, technically. Yeah. A shed is a must-have for my new house as I have too many things outside that need storage. Yep. Yeah. I think we're going to do a big. We actually did a massive like purge of the back patio, just before Christmas, and so that's looking a lot better out there now. It's not perfect, but it's looking a lot better. So yeah, water for tea and coffee. Yeah. So next week I've got this. It's a 3-day summit that I'm attending, and it's in Pacific Standard Time. So I've got to flip because it's like 8 till 5 p.m. So I'll be starting at like 1:30 in the morning and going through to 9 a.m. my time or thereabouts for 3 days. So I'm flipping over to the US time zone for a few days. It's not something I would normally do, but for this particular event, I'm going to give it a try. But I was just like, no, because like I don't want to upset Tim and Abby for like working and they're sleeping. So I'm like, I'll be out in the shack. But I'm like, I've got no tea and coffee, and you know, the sliding door into the house is a bit noisy, and like I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And it's on camera the whole time. It's not like you could just sit there and run off, you know, or have a bad background. It's specifically on live streaming, and I'm just like, oh man, this is not going to work for me. So I'm going to have to be out in the shack here, and I could have some like water and put, you know, tea and coffee making facilities, but that's not everything that you need. I don't know. I'm not staying up the whole time. Freaky's like, will you be staying up the whole time? No. It's basically it's like 3 days. So, you know, it finishes at like 9 a.m. ish my time. So I'll, you know, potter around and do some things and then go to sleep and then wake up and, you know, make dinner, and it'll be a messed up couple of days. Also, will you be learning things for the other channel? Well, because it's all about live streaming, so it's gonna help for both, I think. Some of it's going to be stuff I already know, which is good, and it'll be reinforcing. But I'm sure I'm going to learn some things I don't know, or things that I'm not sure of, or just other ways to do stuff. So I'm hoping to learn stuff for both channels, honestly. But yeah, but it will benefit both. Will Louis miss you and bark? No, because we've worked out that if we send him to bed with Tim and close the bedroom door, he just goes to sleep. It's only if we leave the door open, he comes out and tries to hang out with me. Yeah, Jackie, this is one of the issues. That's an issue. Yeah, so basically I'll be on night shift. That's right. Yeah. Hubby says if it's big enough, he can use it as a man cave too. That's not the plan. Oh no, it's 8 hours each day that the live stream happens, like that this live streaming seminar is happening. So it's 8 hours each day over 3 days. And one of those days happens to be our live stream day. It's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'll have to, I had to sort of, before I booked the ticket, I was just like, oh, I don't like skipping live streams unless there's like legit reasons. And I'm like, well, this is sort of a legit reason-ish. I'll learn something fun for us, hopefully. we'll see. We'll see if I learn something fun for us. Yeah, it's a lot of time. It's a commitment. It's definitely a commitment. Tim's home. I just had a courier, so I'm hoping Tim goes out and deals with it. But yeah, it's definitely a time commitment. It's got like a lot of lots of amazing industry experts, and it's set up by live streaming pros, and it's what's it called? It's something or other summit. I can't remember what it's called. I was just reading stuff on it this morning. But yeah, I'm just gonna pop you guys on Be Right Back and just double check this thing. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. It wasn't even here. And that's why Louis didn't bark hard, and that's why Tim didn't go out. Yeah, that's true. It'd be a good getaway for it. And sometimes if there's 2 chairs, it might be nice for you to get out of the family house and get some time together. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Sal. I'll probably just go inside to the bathroom. So yeah, it's basically a 24-hour live stream split up over 3 days. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I think they were originally going to be planning it to be an in-person event, so I'm kind of glad it's not. I wouldn't be able to go. It'd be held in the US. So at least this way I get to enjoy it. So we'll see. We'll see if it's good. We've nearly made it to the end of a row, everybody. Oh my goodness. That's taken a crazy amount of time. Yeah, I had a fair idea. I had a fair idea where you were going with that, Sally. Trouble. So much trouble. Oh my goodness. So this year has started off a little bit crapola for us Queenslanders. So do you know, like, I know that in the US the CES event still went ahead. Is other events, like other yarn crafting retreats and events and stuff, happening for you guys? And like, because like a lot of your stuff sort of happens over winter, right? It was most of it cancelled, like Rhinebeck and those big yarn shows. I know Scott Snyder still went off to, I can't remember which one it was, but it was a couple of months back now, probably. My last post didn't show up. It's all shaded. It hasn't been modded out. It could just be a timing issue, Di. I can't see it at all. You want to repost it? If it's got a link in it, it won't let you post it at all. And we won't see it. It just gets auto-modded by YouTube. But if it doesn't have a link, just try and post it again and let us know. I didn't swear, I swear. Yeah, you've only got a certain number of characters, but it does normally tell you if when you're hitting your limits. Oh, it's tips on how to do my 3-day stuff. Okay. I didn't see it. Let me look. Yeah, no, it just hasn't shown up. I'm not sure. Oh, was there a link? Yeah. If there's a link, it won't even show us that you tried to post it. It's just auto modded. I wish they'd auto mod these bots. Just try and ignore it. Just hit a knot in my yarn. Oh, I hate that so much. I understand it. I get it logically. I really do. But it still bugs me. It still bugs me when I get knots. I'm like, seriously? Hang on. Oh, I see what I did there. I only did one when I needed to do two. Two there, two. Good. Good, good, good. Just checking. Just checking. If you're watching, which you aren't, by the way. It's all good. Are you all working on your projects? We should check the poll. I can see the answer to the poll. 100% said no so far. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. I'm gonna do the poll and see how that goes. So like I'll give you a couple of minutes to answer the poll question. Okay, so Didi said jerry can with a tap, kettle for hot water, bowl of fruit, microwave for quick easy snacks, esky for cold drinks. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm only like 10 meters to my kitchen. So, but I think I'll do I'll do like an insulated water bottle for the milk. I'll have a kettle for hot water. I'll definitely have some snacks. Yeah, you're right, because it is 8 hours is a long time to be sitting at your desk. Leanne, we were talking about you earlier. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lunchtime knitting with your socks now that I'm back at the office. Awesome. Started a new project, the Cable Trellis Shawl by Stephen West. That's another one of his amazing projects. I just do you guys ever sort of sit there and think, how do they come up with this stuff? Like how? Like I don't understand. Francis, I agree. I know we're getting a lunch break, but I don't know about anything else. I'm sure they'd have to give us some breaks. Please plan breaks. I'll need them. Jackie is swatching for a temperature blanket right now. Wow, which one are you doing? Just out of curiosity. Kathy says, I'm working on my downstairs project. When live is done, I will work on my upstairs project. Annette, welcome to the chat. A temperature blanket. Okay, we'll have a quick run through of what a temperature blanket is, because we're getting a few people jumping in now. So a temperature blanket is a project that you have. It's basically each day you stitch a row or a portion of a blanket using a predetermined color set that you've set with temperature ranges. So if your day is a 40-degree day, you've chosen this color range for, temperatures that are 40 to 45 degrees. You use that and you make a row. So you have like a 360 odd row blanket. And we were talking about whether you'd make a scarf or a knee rug or what it is that you would make. And if you catch the start, we were talking about some of the options, and Kim was talking about this great option that's a 2-round granny square, and then for the month you actually put the squares into one box and then do make it like a calendar rather than the individual rows. But they're a big project and they take commitment. Not me. And they take time and planning. So you need to sit down and decide which colors you're going to use. And I was saying that what made me ask the question today was that I've been seeing posts of people, like they did a little hole punch out and they put like a little strand of the color and their temperature ranges that they're using for those colors. And so it's definitely I love the idea. I love the idea. And we're talking about maybe doing a mood blanket or other options that you could do. But either way, look, however way we look at it, it's a commitment of 360 odd rows where you've got different information for each day. So yeah, it's a bit of fun, something different to do. And yeah, but Jackie's planning hers to be in simple granny stripes, but I'll do them as narrow columns for months or seasons, so it's more doable. Just need a swatch to plan the size for a queen size blanket. Oh my goodness, it's going to be big. Oh no, Leanne, we're not going to tell you what we said. You're going to have to go back to the start of the live stream and watch the whole thing all over again. Yeah, definitely. I thought about the squares, but I don't want to join. I love the calendar idea too. Me too. I love that idea. But again, I'm with you. Like, weaving in all those ends and joining all the squares. Or like, Kim had a good idea for the weaving in the ends. Just make it a wall hanging and leave the ends hanging off at the back. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. There's a few people that have said the same thing. Yeah. Dido says that Tony from TL Yarns made a linen stitch granny for each month. It looks amazing. See, that's an option, right? Is you could take the average temperature for each week and make like a 3-round granny square. That's not enough though, is it? 3-round granny square for each month. No, it's not enough. But then you don't want to do it for like there's lots of ways that you could do it to make it so that you could have like a granny square where each row of each round of your granny square is a set amount of time, and then have it so that it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's a beautiful idea. That's a beautiful idea. Yeah. Yes. This. Yeah, I'd probably start one and never finish it. I would probably not even get through January, like reality check. I was a 30-row linen stitch granny. Yeah. And that's the thing, like each month doesn't have a set number of days. So you would have to decide, like, is near enough good enough? 28 to 31 rows and just jiggery pokery to make them fit into a blanket. I don't know. Depends on what you're okay with. Yeah, something I was looking at the other day, and I've realized I probably should start working out what row it is that I change colors on this pattern. It's probably not yet, but it'll be coming up soon. Yeah, Feb's missing a few days. Absolutely. Definitely makes it uneven if you're doing a granny square a month. But you can jiggery pokery it. We did with our Zoomy blankets. They weren't all the same. And we jiggery pokeried them to make them fit. It's totally doable. I don't know if I want to do a 30-round granny square. Like, yeah. I don't know. Not even doing a temperature blanket wouldn't be worth it. Live in Florida where it doesn't really get cold. See, that's the same thing for me. We'd have the same sort of few temperatures, like, you know, winter gets down to 5 overnight. But like then it's normally maxes. So we'd be maxing anywhere from 20 to 40 degrees up here where I am. Yeah, you could do filler rounds, sure. You could do whatever you want to your blanket. 7 round squares and 52 squares. It would depend on the yarn, but that could still make quite a large blanket. If you did it with 4-ply, you could probably do it. I think the thing for me is I just don't want another massive blanket. Single crochet, 1 chain, single crochet. See, to me, that's block stitch. Like, yeah. But yeah, I like it. I use it for edging for a lot of stuff. It looks very nice. Stuart is home and listening, and he said you could do a rainfall blanket for his rain gauge readings. Oh my goodness. Sounds like you have to now, Leanne. Stuart, you need to get her the yarn to do it, and then she'd do it. My plan for mine was 2, and I think about 5 rounds of border to make up for the days it didn't go into squares. Would you use wool or acrylic? That would depend on what you want. Yeah, it would really depend on what you want to do. For big blankets, I do tend to go acrylic usually, just because of expense. But I don't know. It would depend. Kim's in on the bandwagon now for the first year in your new home, Leanne. Yeah, definitely. You should do it. Oh my goodness, I'm just picking on Leanne. So funny. For those of you in the chat that are wondering about the green names versus the not green names, I don't know if you're wondering or not. But if you are, what it is the green people, the greenies, have decided to click that big red join button and support the live streams here at Fiberific and make it so that we can spend lots of time every week together hanging out, crafting, chatting, and so the computer doesn't fail and the camera doesn't fail and the audio doesn't fail. I mean, I can't promise these things because technology, right? But it helps me to keep them maintained and things like that. So if you do decide you would like to become a channel member, there is a big button there that you can click on. And there's a couple of different levels that you can choose from. But basically, they're all about skipping the ads and joining in the fun. Actually, me too. I'm surprised as well. I mean, that would be, I don't know. Maybe I'm not surprised. It would be depressing. It would be depressing. Yeah, definitely not hand spun. No, I like to be able to machine wash blankets, and I'd never machine wash hand spun. Yeah. So definitely not hand spun. I'm just checking. Yeah, that got sorted. That's good. Kim has an army of sheep now. Yes, she does. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing with a lot of these blankets is they end up very large, which is off-putting for me. But someone suggested the scarf. I like the idea. I mean, do you know what? The idea that I like better, you ready for the idea that I like better, is wait till the end of the year and sit down and work out, you know, your colors that you want to use for different temperatures and then weave it. And just, you know, one weekend of just weaving up and down, weave a scarf with all the temperatures of the year and just do it over a weekend later. That's me. That's me. Are you off? Bye, Lisby. Have an awesome day and awesome week. No live next week. That's right. For those of you that are joining in late, there will be no live here next week. I will be doing night shift, as I think Freaky put it. No, it was not Freaky. It was Game Widows. I like that description. I'll be doing night shift while I attend a virtual live streaming summit. Now I'm at the end of the row, so I've just got to double check that I'm doing things right here. So it's 2, then 2, then 1, then 2, then 4. Okay. Is it possible to make a granny using single crochet instead of double crochet? Yes, absolutely is possible. You just have to think about it a little bit when you're doing your corners, but it's absolutely possible. There we go. We are at the end. Where's my scissors? Snip. Bling. Okay. We finished a row. Yay for finishing a row. Woohoo. All right. Francis is off. Oh, nice massage in Cairo. Enjoy the massage. Unless your masseuse is like mine and then you end up like wincing, like sore bit. She's like, you're covered in sore bits. I'm like, oh no, that's why I'm here. Oh, sorry. I realized I had the wrong camera angle, so not everybody could see. We've got the Queen out today, Annette. So we are working on the Queen. And yeah, sorry. Go back to I'm thinking what I might do, rather than start another row, is let's set up the ball winder and fix up these balls. They are a mess. So bear with while I grab a ball winder. Here's one I prepared earlier. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it on the edge of the table here. I'll tilt the camera. Hang on. Zoom out. I tightened it and then moved it and then wondered why I couldn't get it back in place again, like an idiot. Okay. All right, let me just zoom out for you. Properties. Just give us a little second. I normally have my little box up so that I can just zoom in and out easy, but I forgot today. So let's go here. Then we'll just move that. All right. This is a schmozzle. I'm just reading the chat here. The worst part would be trying to work out how much yarn you need, especially if you're doing it as the year goes, but want to have your yarn in advance. That's a huge issue, I think. Did I? There we go. Did you throw away the crown? No, I've still got my crown. It's in the craft room in the house though. I'm still working on the shawlography, working on the left wedge and then on to part 3. I'm still working on my knitted shawl, whose name I can't remember right now off the top of my head, that I'm doing in the boucle and the 4-ply, the boucle and the mohair, I should say. How did this even happen? Look at this. It's just stuck through the paper. Anyway. Fixed. And I like to just do a little wrap around and draw the yarn through. If I can. There we go. All right. It's not perfect, but it's better than what it was. And we'll also do this here, this lumpy, bumpy nightmare. Jackie says, I have the same ball winder as yours. Mine's very squeaky. Mine's brand new. My older one's a bit squeakier. This is the first time I've used this one. We unboxed it the other day, and this is its first run. So I go from the outside rather than the inside. That was dumb. I don't want to do that. Now, usually I wouldn't have cared, but this will roll around everywhere and I need to vacuum the floor, so we're not zooming in on the floor today. I'm not really sure of doing brioche section. Might do the lace instead. Brioche is one of those things that, sorry, I've realized I'm out of shot. Brioche is one of those things that you think is going to be really difficult. And then once you have a little go, you actually realize that it's not as hard as you thought. So I would definitely have a look. It might not be the best idea to do it as your first brioche in the middle of a shawl, but I would not be afraid of brioche, if that makes sense. Game Widow says that I finished the squares of my latest mitered square blanket last night, deciding on a border. Nice. I wish they would. Oh, where is it? Is anyone else doing the Attic 24 Harbor blanket? I saw that and I love the idea of it, but I'm just not starting any new blankets right now. Sorry, we've got some tangles here, which is unsurprising. I wish they would make a mini ball winder for small tight balls of minis. Well, the catch is if you wind your yarn too tight, you stretch it, and then when you wash your project, it changes how the yarn behaves. So you could have made something with this tightly wound ball and then realize when you wash it that it's totally changed it up. Oh my God, this is such yarn bath. So I'm not a fan of tightly wound balls in any size. So, yeah. Does brioche take focus and attention to stay on track? It depends on the kind of brioche. If you've got lots of traveling leaves and what have you, then yes. And if you are just doing the straight brioche, not so much. But when you're first starting, like anything we're first starting, it does take some learning skills and practice. And brioche does make nice thick fabric. Yes, it can do for sure. For those of you that crochet only and you are interested in trying something brioche, I highly recommend the Brioche pattern by my brain is Adobe Designs. It's can somebody tell me, is it like the the 90-degree cowl, I think it's called. Okay, let's go a bit more and then zoom back in and fix this. There we go. All right. Let's bring it. We got to fix the tilt. Got to fix the tilt. There we go. All right. So they're back into being neat, but that is caution, I think. Yeah, that's caution, and that's eggplant. All right. Okay, so we did those. Yeah, I think it's a 90-degree cowl too. I really enjoyed doing that. I think my one thing that I did though was I didn't use a hook size quite big enough, and it ended up making quite a firm cowl. So I definitely would recommend that you take extra hooks if you're doing a workshop. But no, I definitely think that you could try and check that out. Annette's saying she didn't realize that brioche could be done in crochet. Yeah, I'm sure other people have done it as well, but I really loved how Addie Day Designs taught it and how her pattern's written for the brioche. And it's really beautiful. I'm sure I've posted photos of it somewhere before, but I'll see if I can dig it out. Yeah, I think because I was Kim's written even with my loosey goosey crochet. I think because I was a bit nervous and I was working with 4-ply, I just don't think that I had allowed enough. And I only went down half a hook size, and they say to go down a hook size as well. So because you want to create a little bit more room, but you still want your stitches to be defined without being crazy tight. Anyway, the pattern describes everything, so it's definitely worth getting the 90-degree cowl. Sally is a champion and has dropped the link. If you right click that link there, you can go and check it out for yourself. But I actually think it's a really, really beautiful way to go. Now Kim's got some advice here, but 2-color brioche is much easier to learn than single color. 100% agree. 100% agree, because you can see which color you're working on right now, because you work all on one color for one row and then you work all on one color for the next row, and so that makes it so much easier to work out, oh hang on a second, I've grabbed the wrong stitch because it's the wrong color. It's much easier to learn with 2 colors than one. Mine totally sees with overuse. Yeah, look, like any piece of equipment, you do need to pull them apart and clean them out. With my Nancy's Knickknacks one, I pull it out and give it a full service every 12 months. It's been designed to do that. I don't know if I would do that with this guy. Let me have a look at how it's, I mean, it's designed to come apart at least a little bit. If you're not technically savvy, I would not do it. But it could totally come apart. It just looks like click pins. There's a Phillips head screw there, and there's another Phillips head inside. But yeah, you should be cleaning them out. They get filled with fluff and gunk and dust, and because as the yarn spins, it flicks little filaments around. So definitely need to clean your tools. What I should do is, now that I've got this one, I should check the old one, see if it's built the same, and then maybe do a video on how to pull them apart and give them a bit of a clean, because it's very important. Dido says that she cleans hers regularly now, and it does come apart, so that's cool. So yeah, I'll do a little video on how to pull it apart and give it a clean and put it back together, because this is the thing, like a lot of people forget, is like my house is clean, everything's clean, nothing should get dirty. But what they don't understand is just the nature of yarn. Little tiny, barely noticeable flecks of dust go off. And when you open up this equipment, sometimes you look at it and go, how on earth did that happen in this short amount of time? And it's just because of the nature of the craft. It's just the tools need cleaning. That's all it is. And that's the same for anything that you're doing. So whether or not you're weaving or knitting or crocheting or what have you, you really do need to be giving your needle tips a wipe down, giving your cables a wipe down, even just a baby wipe. Like, as long as it's not sticky, just a quick like run over with a baby wipe every now and again, just to help maintain things so they don't end up with like, you know, sweaty fingers, sticky bits or anything like that. And it's just important, like if you've got ball winders, swifts, if you can put, like if you had to build it to put it together, you can probably pull it apart and it'll be the bits around where there's screws and washers and things like that. And sometimes just a clean out with a toothbrush is fine. I know some people talk about using the Vaseline and using different like machine oils and what have you. Sometimes that can make things worse. If it hasn't been designed for a lubricant or you're using the wrong type of lubricant, you can actually seize your equipment and make it not work. It's like how Margicraft spinning wheels do not require oil and that you use Vaseline, you don't use oil. You have to be aware that some things really do need oil and Vaseline won't work. So you just gotta know your equipment. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm like, don't put your hand up for that job, but someone needs to put their hand up for that job. So that's exactly right, Freaky. You need to borrow someone's baby and use it to wipe down the equipment. Did you also do a beanie in Brioche, or was that Chaos Creator? I did a knitted beanie in Brioche, the Rain Brioche beanie, which I had kits for there for a while. I don't have them anymore. That was probably my first knitting Brioche adventure, and I loved it. And it made the most stretchy, squishy, amazing beanie. My dad wanted one. And that's why there were two colorways, because Dad was like, I love this idea, but I don't want that purpley pinky rainbow. And that's why we had the green and the coffees, because that's why we called it Shane's colorway, was because that were the colors my dad wanted. So we made Dad one, and he loves it. It's the best beanie he owns, he reckons. And when that dies, he would like me to make him another. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's the one you made for Bendigo. Yeah, I did. It's inside. Yeah, it's inside. I'm just having a look. I've got like a stack of samples and stuff that I've been going through. It's not there, so it must be in the house. Kim made the stunning, that I have only done a knitted brioche cow, the most beautiful brioche cow. Seriously, it was gorgeous. So I'm not quite sure. Is it raining at your place? I don't know. Petrichor is the smell that you get before it rains, right? More hot tea. So have you all re-beveraginated? Are you all hydrated? Does tea count as rehydrating? It's got it, right? Yeah, I'm totally hydrated. Totally hydrated. Only about a liter of tea. Goodness me. All right. Oh yeah, there we go. It's just started raining and it's hitting hot ground. Yeah. Sliding off the chair. Let's get comfy. We might need to reshare the photo in the funds, and yeah, I'll dig out the shawl, and I will. We can put in, like, if you have done any brioche or brioche, so either knitted brioche or crochet brioche, throw your photos or gently place them into the Fiberific fun zone so we can inspire each other to have a look. The thing I loved particularly about the brioche 90-day cow was it was so fast. It was such a quick project to make, and I loved working on it. It was fun, it was interesting and quick, and that's what I loved. This is an excellent question. What do you do with all the things you make, Chantel, as they are of no use here in Queensland? I actually because I was going to Bendigo every year during winter, I found them very useful then. But I do try to make things in like lighter weight or different. I tend not to, like, if I'm making something for myself here, I will make it out of silk or cotton so that it is more usable here in Queensland, or something a bit more open. Sally's cracking me up here. But yeah, you have to think about, like, even in Queensland, we wear clothes, right? We do. We totally wear clothes. So you have to think about what your clothes are made out of that you love to wear, and then you can create using that. And then if you, even if you do it with a lace weight version and make it, and modify the pattern. Oh my God. Yeah, sometimes. Not quite to the same extent as you, Kim. But sometimes, like, especially if I want something, because I want something pretty, right? And I'll quite often make a longish cowl that's made out of lace weight yarn, and it doubles as a necklace, you know, and I may not wear it in the depths of summer, but I'll wear it now winter. And it's just enough just to add a little warmth around your neck so I don't need a jumper. And so, yeah, so you just have to think about, like, what you're creating and what you're creating with, and about the clothes that you wear. Sewing machines are not supposed to have felt pads in the feed dogs. I'm probably not the best person to ask, but I don't believe mine do. I don't think. I don't know. I'd have to check out my feed dogs, and I haven't checked them out lately. Yep. Well done. You do. You blame autocorrect and at Leanne's craft room. So Leanne's craft room's autocorrect. Yeah. Yeah. I am always in awe of how Kim changes patterns, modifies patterns, because it's like, she's probably gonna you have to have the brain of a designer, and I know you don't like to design, Kim. I get it. I really do. But you design. You make the most amazing things with, like, inspiration from a designer. Like you made a top instead of a shawl using the repeat from a design. Do you know what I mean? Like, that stuff is phenomenal. And I'm always blown away by what you come up with. And you always make creations you can totally wear. And I love that. I think that's fantastic. Oh, it's a build-up of fluff. Okay. Then yes, no, you really need to clean that out. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Dye. Is it possible to crochet or knit a hat that is warm out of cotton? My sister is allergic to wool and acrylic. Yeah, absolutely. Have a think about hospital blankets. They are usually made out of a particular woven style of cotton. And they are definitely warm enough. Absolutely. So have a look at the pattern. Now, the catches that you will find when changing to cotton especially is cotton has no natural elasticity. So you will have to really think about that. And whether or not you're knitting or crocheting it, you might need to add in some what's called knit in elastic if you really need that there, or make something that doesn't require like full on, like, tight skull fitting ribbing, if that makes sense. So, you know, have a think about how it's going to be used, how it's going to be laundered, because cotton acts differently than wool in so many ways, but you can absolutely make something warm. Yeah, she does. She totally creates new patterns all the time. And me too, Annette. I'm with you. Like, I can modify patterns, and I modify patterns to suit my size all the time, but I don't really get into the whole, like, crazy modification. In saying that, I modified the Boo Knits dragonfly shawl into cuffs, beaded cuffs. I had Boo Knits blessing. So if you want to see that pattern, it's over on Ravelry. It's a free one. Oh, that means that I'm going to get an email in like a week, because mine will be due for its annual service too. My brother loves his Shane's Colorway Brioche beanie, and he lives in the Blue Mountains. That is awesome. I'm glad he does. You know, I could not replicate that green, like that. There's the darker green. I tried and tried and tried, and I could not replicate it. So only those kits had that green, and I'm kicking myself because I loved it so much. Kim says, I would be wary of doing cotton for its lack of bounce. Yeah, so you can, if you keep an eye out, depending on where you are, there are some brands that do a cotton elastine blend. Yeah. And like there's some great ideas here. Make it in 2 layers. But depends on how bad her allergy is. Like for me, if I'm allergic to something, I just have to breathe it in, not even have it touch my skin. So, lots of us have a few winter items and blankets. I remember using lap blankets quite a bit last winter. Cotton is a friend too. I gift most of what I make. Yeah, look, we love having knee rugs. Like, it's hilarious, right? It is stinking hot. If I go in and Tim's sitting watching TV, it is 100% guaranteed he has a blanket pulled over his knees. It is summer, but it's a comfort thing. It's not a temperature thing. So he's got like a granny square blanket with lots of holes and airy, and it's made out of cotton, you know. So yeah, it's a comfort thing. Yeah, and what you're gonna need to do is test. And I know people hate it when I say, oh, just make it and test it out. And then they're like, but what if it doesn't work and I've wasted all this time? It's like, no, you haven't wasted time. You have learnt something. Test it out. There is a sneaky kind of rib that you can do that is, but I'm not a fan. I can't look at it because I gave it away. The Thatcher hat from, again, Addy Day Designs. That's like a big promo for Addy Day Designs today. The Thatcher hat has got this amazing double-sided, so it's like you crochet and then you fold it in half and then join it to the end and crochet around and make the rest of the hat. And it's just well, I think it's that linen stitch. I call it brick stitch, but the linen stitch, and it's firm enough that it's stitching in your head. But in saying that, again, it's a wool mohair blend. So yeah. Linda, she's allergic to acrylic, so she can't use any acrylic. So she's allergic to wool and acrylic, which makes things very, very, very not easy. Yeah, I would agree with this as well. Like, knit would definitely have a better chance of success than crochet in doing it as a hat, for sure. But also double check places like Ravelry, right? So what you can do is you can go in and hit the pattern search, choose cotton as your fiber blend. And if you're thinking Bendigo, then put in like a DK or whatever weight you want to do. And then go and choose hats and see which designers are designing in cotton hats, designing cotton hats or cotton beanies, because they will have come up with something to make it work. So that's a good way as well, just to have a little look. So yeah, so that's definitely another option. But I agree with Kim that knit has a much better success rate in trying to keep its it's not bounce. It doesn't have any memory, but it will be a better chance because of the nature of the knit stitches. Sally, I love my Thatcher hat too, so much that I actually gave it away without me really wearing it much, like at all, just to show as a prize. I'm going to have to make another one. Yeah. I've got some undyed mohair somewhere, right? Make it for summer. Not. Yeah, look, like both Gamer Widows and Kelly have said, make drawstring beanies. I'm not a fan personally. I don't. I prefer something I just pull on. But if you've got limitations, you've got to work around them. So sometimes not 100% is better than none. So, done is better than sitting there trying to plan it. Okay. Well, I just looked at the clock. You guys were trying to make it so I didn't notice the clock. Like, I know you lot. I really do. Holly says it's good motivation to learn how to knit a hat. That's right. I think so. Like you're doing your beanie, you're doing your woolies scarf yourself now. You can find some patterns, and just don't forget, like guys, jump into the Fiberific Fun Zone. If you get stuck, if you need help, there are amazing creatives in that group, and someone will be there who can help you, who can answer your questions, and you can totally go and check them out and get, post photos of where you're up to. It is a private group. If you're stuck in a pattern, you can take a photo of the snippet of the pattern and have someone explain it to you. We're not open to the public. It is a private group. So, when we're not going to, like, if you share a pattern, we'll be annoyed. Okay. But if you share a snippet and just like, I'm stuck on this row, someone will help you. Okay. And it says, I want to know how to solve the problem of the fact that I look horrible in beanies as I love them. There's so many different shapes. Maybe try a different shape. Kim has said there's cotton sock yarns out there. Barocco Comfort Sock is one that I've used. Yeah. And they've got like an elastine mix in them, and they will totally work. Yeah. Oh, is the Barocco Comfort, is that a cotton acrylic, is it? But yeah, keep an eye out, because I know that that there's a few different brands where people they're a cotton elastine rather than cotton acrylic. So yeah. Oh, the Munchkin was just beautiful, wasn't it? It was such a good color. It was such a good color. What's for lunch today? No idea. Probably something lame like a Vegemite sandwich or something like that. I need to go grocery shopping. Well, we're lucky that you're here, I think. All of you. I'm super lucky that you all come in and support each other and just help each other out. I think it's an amazing thing. And as creators and creatives, that's what we need to do, right? Anyway, Holly, don't forget, you can always ask for help in the group. And that goes for all of you, not just Holly. Now, I'm just going to have a little look here. We're going to end the poll. We'll see 100% of people said no, they are not doing they have not cast on a 2021. There were 46 votes. That's like a resounding no. But we do know that one of you is casting on. Definitely. Beth said that the comfort is cotton, acrylic, and nylon. Right. That's good too. Yeah. But yeah, there's options out there. I know that Crochet socks is a cotton elastine. I don't know if it's available in Australia. But yeah, there's a few out there. There's a few out there. All right. Well, on this note, everybody, I'm going to go, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. It does not mean I will not be active in the Facebook group. I will totally be active in the Facebook group. I will see you over there. I'll be posting on Instagram. We just won't be having our live stream. So orders are still going out. All of that sort of stuff is still happening, just not the live stream. So I hope you all have a fantastic couple of weeks, and I will see you back the week after next. Have awesome craft time. Keep safe. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.